Welcome back, guys. It has been 7 days since the new year. It's been a week. So 1 week down, 51 to go. So I just want to wrap up the last 7 days for you and just talk about what I've been doing. And I was actually doing this before January 1st. That's happened to me several times where right after Christmas, you're still on that little break period and you start doing the things just before the first, because I'm kind of like this. If I wait till the first, I'm probably not going to do it. But if I go ahead and start, there was a time me and my cousin had made a bet, and we talked about starting, and he said, let's start on the first. Well, I went ahead that night and said, well, I'm going to start right now. And I did. And I went the entire year doing it. I went back and talked to him, and he had not done it. He actually didn't even start. So I just look at it as no matter when you start to improve your life, don't wait for just the first. You can start on the 8th or the 9th. Any day you can start. You can start on a Sunday. Say it's the first day of the week. Let's start making a difference in our life. So anyway, one of the things I have done every single day is read my Bible. I did that last year, and then things just got so hectic with all the things going on, and I kind of let it slip. The year before, I did it and was late. I was like 2 weeks late into 2020 getting done. But this year I'm back at it again, reading daily, trying to read just what I needed to read for the day, so that it's more of a small step each day instead of missing several days and then having to read 4 or 5 days worth and binge that material. You really don't get a lot out of it, but if you do a little bit at a time, you get more out of it daily. The other thing that I've done is started journaling. Every single day I'm journaling, or even if I have to, I'll go back and journal what I did the day before if I didn't write it down that day. And it's in an app on my phone. It's just a journal app that you have a PIN number so that no one can see it, and you can write your thoughts and your feelings for the day. And just doing that has helped my mood, because you rate that day with 5 stars or whatever. You can put an emotion on, like I was happy, I was sad, and I haven't had a day that wasn't great. Maybe it wasn't the best, but it wasn't like sad or miserable. Even at work, I've had these moments where things didn't go as planned, but I've just got this perspective that says, you know what, God knows what He's doing, and if I'm facing this, God's with me, and it's okay if things don't go 100% each day. And one of the things that didn't go as I would like is one of the days I looked at, I think it was a 32-second, I've got it written down, I have to go back and look, but I think it was less than 40-second video that would be, considered pornography. It was very light, but to some degree, but it definitely wasn't hardcore as I have seen. But that is something that I have struggled with. I've talked to a cousin of mine who, doesn't struggle with that, had it in the past, but give me some thoughts on what to do. And I usually struggle with this once a week, just straight up once a week, and it's usually Mondays. So it's almost like you get fired up from church on Sunday, you get filled up with God, and you hear the scriptures and the preaching, and then Monday the devil brings this temptation. And 95% of the time on that one day I struggle, and I don't struggle the rest of the week. And you hear the scriptures and the preaching, and then Monday the devil brings this temptation. And 95% of the time on that one day I struggle, and I don't struggle the rest of the week. And so that's something I've had times where it wasn't that way. I would go 3 or 4 weeks, but generally it'd be that once a week. So if you can pray for me on Mondays, remember that Mondays is my toughest day for that. But it was a very brief moment, and I wrote it down. I'm just being straight up honest with you and open. And so most of my devices, I've got the ability to block that, and I do. But there is a device that I've got that I can't, it won't allow me to with what I have, the apps and things available. So I'm trying to figure out another option to put on it or use for it. If it comes down to it, I may just have to get a different device, different tablet type device that will let me put those apps there and give that tablet away, because it's a different brand and style that won't do the app that I need. But I am encouraged that it was a very light, but I am encouraged that it was a very brief fall, and I know that God is faithful to pick us up. His grace is sufficient. I'm not trying to just step over His grace and run it over by just willfully doing it. It's just a struggle that I have, being apart from a marriage right now and waiting on God to do what He wants to do in my life or my future. It is a struggle to not have someone to be able to fulfill your desires and needs with. It is a struggle. So pray for me for that aspect. And now, one of the things I have gotten upset or aggravated with, I'll say, just a little bit passionate about, is people at work just being so picky about social distancing, but yet I'll see them as the bosses not following it themselves. Now, I'm very respectful of people that maintain social distance, and if I go to a store, I will wear a mask. If I'm at the church, we all wear a mask unless they're singing and they're a distance up on the platform from people. And I respect that. Now, I don't think personally that masks actually help. That's just my personal opinion. But I'm not going to say that it's wrong if someone does believe that it's important, because of course it captures spit, because obviously when you wear a mask you can see it's got your moisture from your mouth all on it. So I know it does. If you sneeze, of course it does, and then you have to go change your mask. But at the same time, I also believe that it's not really stop anything. If you're here, it is cold outside and you're breathing hot air and you see the steam coming out the sides of the top, which shows where the air from your mouth is traveling. So instead of it traveling straight, it's traveling to the sides. So you're just diverting the moisture, the extra moisture, out to the sides and maybe to the top and bottom. And so unless you have a ventilator, I don't see where the masks are completely 100% solve anything. But we've been wearing masks at work since March of 2020 and went through a lot of protocol changes and a lot of procedure changes, a lot of plexiglass put in place to divide workers so they can stand on either side of glass. And I get that. But when I see bosses, 2 maintenance bosses, passing tools back and forth, standing on the other side of on one side of a conveyor, talking within 2 feet of each other, fixing a problem, and then 3 minutes later turn to someone who's 3 feet away talking, and they say, "Hey, y'all need a social distance." That just kind of like hits me passionately. Like, that's not fair. That's unjust. Because if you're going to say strictly down the board, we need to be social distance, then everybody needs to strictly do it, and then it's fair. And I still have my thoughts on whether or not that's even important entirely. Of course, if you're a high-risk person, you want to do that. You want to stay away from people. But there's a lot of people who've already been exposed to it, who've possibly built up immunities to it, and that being around people is not such a big deal. The best thing you can do is try to just bring peace and be respectful to one another. Anyway, this has been a rant, I know, but I did want to share with you my first 7 days. I've been excited that it's happened and it's through, and I would consider it a 100% success. Well, let's say 95% success, because I did mention a few flaws in my week on my part. But even with this 95% success, I am excited about it, and I can't wait for the next week. And I want to bring back and talk to you and be able to report that I didn't have this problem that I had on this next coming Monday. And I want to be able to come back next week and do a second week summary and talk to you about it, and be able to say I didn't struggle with this, or I beat the struggle. Because I talk to friends, and a lot of times I feel like the ones who love me will just say, well, that's just the way it is. You know, you're a guy. Well, there's girls that face that issue and girls say, they're just a girl. I mean, no matter who we are, we can struggle with things, and that's okay, and we still should love each other for it. But we also should put some tough love on each other and say, you need to get this straight, because if you don't, you're going to continually face it. It's going to get worse and worse. So I'm going to come back, and I'm going to get better and better. I'm going to tell you, hey, this thing is beat. I want to be able to say that. I don't want to lie to you. I want to be straight with you. Anyway, hope this helps. If you have any problems with any kind of problems, addictions, maybe it's cutting yourself, maybe it's feeling that you're not any good, anything like that, please message me, leave a comment. I will get with you. We'll pray together. God can help you as he helps me, and we will get through this. You can count on it. So till next time, God bless.